Mitch, how does Julian look for tonight?
He's banged up. He's going to go through pregame and give it a go, and we'll know closer to.
You know what happened with him last night?
He had a few different plays. I know with 2 minutes left, he got kind of Charlie horse knee in the back of his thigh, and then also came down. I don't know if it came down on someone's foot, but just kind of awkwardly. And he was already a little banged up before that. And I actually grabbed Keldon and sent him to the table because it looked like he was in enough pain that he was hobbling around, and he demanded that I do not do that. So I followed suit and told KJ that we were good. But he was playing through some stuff, and he wanted to finish the game, and he deserved to. But I think that one is probably a true 50-50 at this point. We'll just have to see how it goes.
He's been one of your other kind of Iron Man guys. I guess what can you say about the way that he prepares and commits?
I think in this day and age in this league, with the level of speed, distance covered, intensity, full court nature that teams are just playing with, availability sometimes gets over-discussed when guys are not available, and probably not as much discussed when guys are available, especially when you talk about overtime. And we have some guys on this team that have checked that box and then some, and he's one of those guys. And that saying, availability is your greatest ability, is a good saying.
Playing with a shoulder. Steph played with a bad thumb for a while. How do you guys gauge, who to keep in, who to keep out? Medical staff just lets you know, or is it up to the players and with those nagging type injuries?
Yeah, I think it's a collaborative effort from my perspective. Obviously, the medical staff leads those conversations because they're the experts. The players have the biggest voice in terms of what they're feeling because it's their vehicle that they got to use. And I think everyone else just wants to make sure we're on the same page and supporting and sharing what we think. It's a long season, and you have to somehow balance being mindful of that. And then also the last time you were probably 100% was back in October, even if you were then. So hurt versus injured is a slippery slope, and everybody has to find that rhythm for themselves.
You talked about how competitive this group is. What were some of the first signs of that you saw? I'm sure it was probably last season.
I think we had some moments last year with this group. You felt some of the potential and the signs of if we kept growing and incrementally improving. I think all these guys in their own ways, if you want to hone in on them individually, has shown signs. And I think the combination of the embracing of the roles and the celebrating of each other has allowed that competitiveness to probably reach the level that it has right now. Because when you're competitive, that means you want to play. When you're competitive, that means you want the ball. When you're competitive, that means you want to score. When you're competitive, that means you want to guard the other guy. And everybody can't do all that every time. And so I think understanding that competitiveness and not avoiding it and not ignoring it, but also acknowledging when someone else in that competitive moment may have the moment has been kind of the balance and the delicacy of keeping all in the same place.
Coach, so in the long 82-game season, what brings you back and what gives you joy day by day being with a group of guys that seems to want to compete?
Yeah, we got a great group of guys in the locker room that definitely lead the way on that, and I think the staff and the rest of the building and the organization, for me, I would guess it's similar to any person that enjoys or feels like they work at a company or on a team or in a building that they enjoy. And so I love working and I love collaborating. I also love sitting and having lunch with our staff members or other people in our organization and talking shop and talking a little smack, and that helps go through the long season. And I think it also helps when you're away from your family and you're on the road and you feel that time. You have to be able to enjoy yourself, in my opinion, very strongly. And everybody does that at times in different ways. But there is a balancing act to this when you start talking about the length of the season, the length of the days that we experience.
Mitch, another matchup tonight with your old college teammate, Brooke Lopez. He was telling me that your nickname in college was Maestro. Do you know where that nickname came from at all? Remember?
I do. It was actually my dad originally gave it to me in middle school. I was better then than I was in college, but it was from my dad, and I was born and raised in Seattle, so it's my childhood friends actually still. It's one of those types of things, but my college teammates called me that, and Brooks scored a lot of points when I passed to him, so I'm very grateful for him.
In college, he said you were a lot like a coach on the floor back when you were at Stanford. Was that something when you were playing that you always envisioned yourself a future in coaching?
I did not. I probably also didn't realize at the time the way I played in terms of point guard and trying to lead and trying to connect was probably, looking back now, makes sense. I also think there's a natural oxymoronic relationship at times between player and coach where you just, as a player, never want to be the coach. You want to play, and when you're the coach trying to get a group of people to do one singular thing, there's always a little bit of a conflict of interest with every individual. And so when you have good guys, that's why it makes it that much more valuable and important. But yeah, there are some tea leaves, I guess, looking back on now that make sense, and I draw upon those experiences quite a bit, but I definitely did not foresee this coming.
With your musical ability?
Were you Brooks' teammate when he ditched practice to go to Disneyland with Robin?
No comment.
Thanks, y'all.
Good teammate.